Hello, my name is Natalie and welcome to my channel, Knitting-a-GoGo. In the second part of the Vogue knitted lace dress from 1969, I will be showing you my process of knitting the dress and how it looks once finished. So here is the panel for the front or back, you could say knitted because they're both knitted the same way, in the merino wool. And at this stage, before I knit the next side for the body, I just like to pop it against me and check the fit and check I'm happy with that, and I don't need to unpick or make any amendments to it. So I'm really happy with the neck and the shoulders. I think they fit absolutely fine, and also here with the armhole shaping, I'm really happy with that too. And again, there's enough coverage here around the sides, around the bust area, and also here around the waist. It's fine. I mean, there is some stretch to it as well in this pattern, but it's fine. It's looking like it's going to fit fine, which is great. And I'm also happy with the length once I've put it up fully to the shoulders. You can see here, and that's down. It's above the knee, and yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not too short or too long. So I think once it's all sewn together, that's going to be absolutely fine. It obviously helped doing a tension square, which meant it should knit to the measurements anyway on there. So now I'm excited about knitting the next part of it. So here I am knitting the front part of the dress in the lace pattern. This is a close-up of me knitting the pattern. You may see two stitch markers that I have placed for the moss stitch border section to be knitted in the centre of the dress. So over the past month I've managed to find time to knit the front and back and also the sleeves of this dress that I've been knitting. As I mentioned before, the front and the back are knitted exactly the same way, so they're both exactly the same with the neck shaping and the armhole shaping on both. On those. This is a short sleeve dress, so this is the sleeves. And what I wanted to quickly show you as well is the fact that it's got quite a slope for the arms here on there. It's quite diagonal as well. It almost follows the line of the lace shaping. And the other thing that's slightly different with these sleeves, they are obviously set in sleeves, but they have a saddle shoulder on them. I don't know if you can see that there. So there's kind of this moss stitch part that will just come across here on the shoulder. So the front and the back, I'll be showing you a bit later on when I join it in this video, but the front and the back will join across this saddle part of the shoulder each side. So it'll come across like that. And then that's the same, it's repeated on both sides. You can see there. Like I said, I'll show you more close-up detail in this video. Oops, if I can put it the right way around. So it goes along the line of the shoulder shaping, I believe. So I'm really looking forward to showing you how that looks. But I thought that was a really nice little detail because you've got the moss stitch band here on the front in the centre, and then I thought that's going to look really nice having that moss stitch detail up on the shoulder as well. Whoever designed this for Vogue back in 1969, I thought that's a really nice feature they've done. I have blocked all the knitted pieces and weaved in the loose ends, and here is one of the sleeve pieces, and as you can see it has a moss stitch saddle shoulder strip at the top of the sleeve cap.
I've already pinned in one of these saddle shoulders to the front and back shoulder and just need to pin the other shoulder sides. I am using the same wool and a wool sewing needle to join all the seams on this dress. I join all the seams using a mattress stitch, as you can see here when I'm joining the saddle style shoulder. This is how they will look once finished. I now need to pick up the stitches around the neckline once the shoulder seams are joined. I'm picking up the stitches and knitting into each one for the first row, as you can see here. My circular needle is larger than the amount of stitches around the neckline, so I'm using the magic circle technique to knit the moss stitch pattern around the neckline. I've placed a stitch marker for the beginning of the round. You can see I am knitting the moss stitch pattern until I get to where my knitting needles need to be moved across to enable me to knit fully in the round on the circular needle. I pull the cable end of the circular needle through to the other side of the stitches, so my needle is next to the other needle, ready for me to continue knitting in the round. I will then use a stitch marker as a reference for knowing how many rounds I've knitted, and then I'll cast off loosely. This is how the moss stitch neckline looks once finished. I will now sew the sleeve and side seams together and block the neckline. And here is the final reveal of how the dress looks now I've fully made it.
So you just saw a video of me wearing the finished dress, and I really love the colour. I'm really pleased with how this colour looks in this with this lace pattern. I really do like that, and I'm pleased that was my colour choice for the dress. I also really like the lace pattern. The only shame was that I couldn't find the original yarn, and I had to adjust my tension with the double knit wool to a 3.25mm needle. And by doing that, it has made the dress a lot thicker, which I did kind of think that would probably happen. Normally when I knit with merino wool in a dress, it's 4-ply. So perhaps in hindsight, maybe I should have looked at altering the tension with a 4-ply wool. But again, you just learn as you knit, you learn these things. So it is thicker. It will be too warm to wear in summertime. However, it definitely is a nice spring dress. The sleeves are slightly wider than I would have liked. I would like them to have been a bit more fitted. But again, it's not, you know, overall, it's not a big problem, it's fine. And it does tend to sort of come out more here and not as fitted as I thought it would be. And I can only put that down to, first of all, the yarn choice, not using the original wool. Obviously, I couldn't source the original wool from 1969 for this particular make. And perhaps the other reason is because the increases around the bust area were quite dramatic. It was like suddenly, you might have seen when I was holding up in the video earlier, holding one of the pieces around my body, sort of the shape, but the thing was it kind of went sort of out, in, and then kind of out again like that. Because I'm a knitwear designer, when I design dresses, I tend to, if I was going to do the shaping on a dress, I would perhaps change needle size rather than do this dramatic kind of increasing, just so you get more of a curve. I personally feel that's what perhaps I would do, depending on the pattern I was designing. So I do wonder, once it was sewn together with this kind of diagonal pattern as well, lace pattern, it kind of did kind of go sort of like out, and you can sort of see that a bit here. And also it's very similar again on the saddle shoulders. The shaping meant the actual body pieces here were quite pointy. So when you went to sort of set them in the sleeve and the long sort of strip here, again, like, you had to really be spot on with your sewing, with your mattress stitch that I tend to use for sewing knitted garments together, because otherwise it would have been really pointy. So that was one other thing to look out for as well. But yes, it's definitely a dress I'm pleased I made, and I really like the pattern. Like I said, just a few tweaks here and there if I was to knit it again. But it was such a fun make that once you know how to be mindful of with your increasing or decreasing the lace pattern shaping, it really was a pleasure to knit and make, and it was quite a quick knit as well. It did knit up fairly quickly. Unfortunately, I didn't time how long it took me. Probably a couple of weeks around work really. And I really like this moss stitch band and the edging on the hem. I really do like that. And I really liked how the moss stitch went up here into the saddle shaping. I thought that was a really nice feature and really well designed and thought about. As you probably saw from the video, it does, because of the diagonal pattern, it does kind of go like this. So on the side of the hem, it kind of points down a bit, but it's matching each side. And again, I knew that would probably most likely happen on this style of dress. But again, it's a different wool as well. And obviously I'm using merino wool, not the yarn that was recommended. So it is going to be slightly different, because I couldn't really get like for like, as I found when I started doing my tension square and I had to change the needle size, which again, just using double knitting with a smaller needle as I did, 3.25mm, just makes it very thick. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you'd like to see more of my knitting makes through the 60s and 70s, please follow my YouTube channel, Knitting-a-GoGo. And please look at the links below where you can follow more of my work on other social media platforms as well. Once again, thank you for watching.